I'm New Media Coordinator Robert Blaszkiewicz, here with Editorial Page Editor for The Times, Doug Ross, and we're previewing the upcoming primary election matchups. Today we're going to be looking at a race that's drawing nationwide attention. That's the Republican matchup for the U.S. Senate seat held by Evan Bayh, who's leaving the Senate.
Right. And that's interesting. Democrats won't have a choice in that because of the timing of that. Of course, Bayh went on President's Day, he decided I'm not filing after all, so there weren't any Democrats who had a chance. So in essence, you know, if you see that Bayh controls the state party, he gets to pick his potential successor.
Yeah, and it's a fairly crowded GOP field, and I think the stakes were raised when Bayh declared that he wouldn't seek office again, because that really put the seat in play. We've got, of course, most notably the former Senator Dan Coats, who's seeking. He stepped down when Evan Bayh took the seat, so he's seeking the seat back that he left 12 years ago.
Talk about deja vu.
Right, and he's being challenged. The two, if we want to talk about Dan Coats first, and the two most notable challengers to him are Jon Hostetler, who's a former congressman, and Marlin Stutzman, the state senator. Also in the race, you have Richard Bainey, who's most notably the kind of the founder of the Indianapolis Tea Party, and Don Bates Jr., a businessman.
Right, so, right. Well, let's start with Coats.
Yeah.
He's the guy that everybody is campaigning against. Democrats, Republicans, everybody sees him as the guy who's going to take it. He's interesting because he's the consummate Washington insider at a time when there's this huge, you know, anti-incumbent mood.
With ties to a lobbying firm as well, which doesn't help in terms
and
of those
hasn't lived in Indiana, where he moved back, but you know, hadn't lived in Indiana.
He was ambassador in Germany, and then he was outside. Yeah, so he was working out there, and hasn't been back to Indiana until just now. So
and in fact, he told us that he was pushing Mike Pence to run, and when Mike Pence didn't run, then Coats said, "Well, somebody's got to do it," so he jumped in.
Right. How about Jon Hostetler?
Former congressman from Southern Indiana, you know, way down there in Southern Indiana. He's pretty knowledgeable about the issues, as you know, you would hope, a guy who's served in Congress before. But he just didn't seem like a winner to me. You know, the Tea Party guys tend to like him a lot. Yeah. But I just don't think he had it.
Yeah, he has those conservative credentials. And he's got some of that Washington experience, which I think makes him a real contender. Marlin Stutzman is someone who's also really popular with the conservatives.
He's getting a lot of endorsements, and he's campaigning like he's really eager to get this.
Yeah, he's kind of the dark horse that's really risen up in the race.
He has. He doesn't have the federal experience.
Right.
But
in this environment, though, that's a definite could be an advantage because people are interested in getting a new face, an outsider into Washington.
Right. Exactly.
Richard Bainey.
He's a Carmel businessman who, a plumber. You know, he has created businesses here and there. He talked about assembling bikes on his kitchen table, and then creating a business that took off, and then and went the way of businesses that run into trouble.
And he's gotten into a bit of trouble himself with some of the inflammatory rhetoric he's had, which he really didn't. When he visited with us, he didn't back down from it at all.
Oh no, we asked him. We everybody knows about the video who's been following this race, the one about where he says, if I don't see any new faces, I'm going to clean my guns and get ready for the big show. Well, so we asked him, well, you asked him, do you think it's time to tone down some of the rhetoric? And he says, no, if anything, we need to turn it up. Well,
yeah, and Bates didn't visit with us, and he's kind of been in the background. So
yeah, we tried to get him to come in, but no luck.
So our endorsement ended up being for Dan Coats. Talk about the reasons why.
he has really good credentials. I mean, you know, how would you like to have a resume when you're applying for a job that says former U.S. Senator, former ambassador to Germany? I mean, you know, he's kept his hand in the foreign policy field and defense in particular. You got to remember when he became ambassador to Germany, it was on September 10, 2001.
Yeah.
Well, you know, talk about a way to start your career.
Right.
So, you know, Germany's a huge base. So, so he knows quite a bit about the military because of that. And Coates was the only one who said, of all of them saying we need to cut federal spending. Yes, we do. But Coates was the one who said defense is not the sacred cow.
Right. The others said defense is off the table, but he said no. There are places you can cut.
And he
in
identified
defense.
some.
Sure.
So.
And it seems like he's running for the right reasons.
Right.
He wanted to get into it because he sees the country in a time of crisis, and he wants to do what he can to help.
Right.
So, okay. So that's the U.S. Senate Republican lineup. We'll be back with the last couple races. So be sure to come back to NWI.com and to look for our election guide on Sunday.